It's time for your statewide Alabama weathercast.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Drew McCombs with the Alabama Weather Network. This is your morning statewide forecast update, and there is some heavy rain falling up in the northern part of the state. You can see that there has been some heavy rain in parts of Limestone, Madison, and Jackson County so far this morning. Some clouds blowing off from that brings some clouds down to the south of that, but most of the southern part of the state, south of Birmingham, is very sunny, very warm, with no rain in sight. And as we zoom in closer to the storms that are happening in the northern part of the state, you can see that this polygon here in the light blue, that's a flash flood warning that's been issued. Got some reports of some ponding on roadways, very heavy rain. We've seen over 2 inches of rain, probably more now, like 3 or 4 inches of rain has fallen in some spots over the last couple of hours. And you can see this continues to move off towards the east, and you've got some still very heavy rain in parts of northeastern Limestone and northwestern Madison County. Moderate rain over in Jackson County, but heavier rain could certainly get into that area that's moving there towards the east. The flash flood warning is in effect until 12:45. Could be expired a little bit sooner depending on when this rain stops, but as of right now, that will continue because this is still continued heavy rain that sort of has been staying over that same area in northwestern Madison County. So again, if you happen to be out, you want to avoid any sort of flooded roadways. If you have one that you encounter, please turn around, don't drown, take precautions because there's been some very heavy rain in those areas. But again, outside of that area, it's been pretty dry across the rest of the state. However, in Ardmore's seeing some on and off rainfall, some fairly heavy rain at times. You can see that's happening right now. The temperature is at 69 degrees, so it's certainly not as warm in these areas with all the rain. And same thing in Huntsville. Huntsville has had quite a bit of rain and it's 66 degrees. On top of Monte Sano, I can't really see hardly anything except the rainfall and maybe some fog that started to form, or probably actually up just in the clouds at this point. Looking at Hatton back off to the west, though, it's calmed down. There were some showers around earlier, but the temperature is now up to 75 degrees as the rain has stopped and is not as much happening there in Lawrence County. As we move to the south, though, you got blue skies, a few scattered clouds, and it's already 85 degrees in Tuscaloosa at the campus of the University of Alabama. And then further back to the east, Bald Rock, seeing some of the clouds that are blowing off from those storms up to the north is what you're seeing here. But directly over Bald Rock, it is not raining or anywhere close by. It's 77 degrees, though, there with a comfortable 62 degrees dew point. Then as we move further to the south, Montgomery, lots of blue skies there. It's already 85 degrees, and so it's going to be another hot one across most of the southern part of the state. And as we look at Orange Beach, beautiful view there with blue skies, just a few low cumulus there off in the horizon. It's 82 degrees already, and so it looks like another beautiful day at the beach. So what we're watching for today and this week, again, right now, we've got those scattered showers and thunderstorms up in the heavy thunderstorms up in the northern part of the state, and then we expect to stay dry for the southern part of the state. But as we get into tomorrow and Thursday, showers and thunderstorms becoming more numerous, and we expect to have fairly widespread rain and heavy thunderstorms as we get into tomorrow and for Thursday. A few of those storms could be strong, possibly severe as well. And then we expect lower heat levels as we get into Thursday and Friday. And the weekend is looking pretty good at this point as well. All right, here's our Skywatcher reports for lows this morning. Justin Gentry and Jemison got to 64. Ronald Hughes and Coker got to 66. Same thing for Jake Argo and North Calera. And Joshua Vest and Moody got to 67. Then Valerie Hughes and Tuscaloosa got down to 68 degrees. So some kind of a nice morning in some of those places where it's not raining right now. Temperatures right now, though, however, where it is raining, it's a lot lower. It's 70 degrees in Huntsville, 75 in Florence. You can see places, though, where there's been full sunshine are already up in well into the 80s. It's 86 in Selma, 85 in Demopolis, 85 in Monroeville. It's 82 in places like Clanton and Birmingham. And what we expect for today is that those places that are not getting the rain are going to get hot again. So we expect mid-90s down to the south. Greenville and Andalusia could get up to 95 degrees, Chatham to 94. It could get up into the upper 80s to low 90s along the coast. Up north, I'm not sure we'll even get to those upper 80 readings because of the rain that's around, but it just depends on how the atmosphere recovers as the rain starts to move out later on this afternoon. But I would expect it might get into the 80s potentially, but it's probably less likely to get in the upper 80s now in the northern part of the state. Here's a look at what's happening out there right now. So we had a a short wave disturbance in the upper levels that came through to help kick off this mesoscale convective system that's brought the rain and thunderstorms to the northern part of the state this morning. Further off to the northwest, kind of associated with that, we've got the low pressure there. We've got the cold front that will eventually be moving through over the course of the next couple of days. And so that's the big system that will eventually be bringing the more widespread rain and thunderstorms to us here in Alabama. Severe weather outlook for today, there's really hardly any place that's being touched by that outside that very northwestern sliver of Lauderdale County under that green marginal or level 1 out of 5 risk. That's going to be more for late tonight. There could be some storms approaching that could have some gusty winds and some heavy rain. But again, really the rest of the state doesn't have to worry about anything as far as severe weather for today. Storm set up for Wednesday, however, things change a little bit as this upper level system begins to dig further into the southeast. The cold front approaches, and so a good portion of the state, especially the northern half of the state, will have the opportunity to see some strong storms for tomorrow. And then looking at that severe weather outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, again, kind of the northwestern half of the state, from a line from Chatham, Thomasville, Selma, Clanton, Anniston, and points to the northwest, are under a marginal risk, which is that level 1 out of 5 risk. Main threats here are going to be severe winds, so could see some damaging winds with some of the stronger thunderstorms that happen. Could see some small hail as well. An isolated tornado can't be ruled out, but does not look likely at this point with this. And as we look at our Futurecast here, we'll see what we plan to see with this. So again, these are those heavy rain and thunderstorms in the northern part of the state right now. As we get through the afternoon, expect those to diminish eventually. It might take a little while, but expect those to diminish so that by the time we get into the evening, most of the state is very calm. Then as we get late tonight, a few passing showers and thunderstorms could skirt along the northwestern part of the state. And by early tomorrow morning, this model is not showing much actually in Alabama, but there are some models trying to show another round of some heavy rain and thunderstorms moving in that are being generated back from the system off to the northwest. So there is a possibility that there could be some heavy rain and storms in the northwestern part of the state tomorrow morning. So just be aware of that. It's also possible it may turn out like this where you don't really see anything, but it's the models are kind of back and forth on that at this point. Looking at the afternoon and evening, though, everything in agreement, though, that we're going to see a nice scattered or widespread coverage of thunderstorms as we move into tomorrow evening when we have the cold front approaching, and then this is going to be the time when we expect that those could be strong. And so we want you to just continue to pay attention to what we're doing and follow us in all of our social channels and here on the network to make sure that you're paying attention as we have these strong thunderstorms moving through. We expect to see a lull as we get into late tomorrow night and into Thursday morning, but then we'll expect another round in kind of the south part of the state as we get into Thursday afternoon. And looking at the severe weather outlook for that, so a similar kind of thing where we've just got a marginal risk for kind of the other half of the state for Thursday as that front continues to move to the southeast. And again, the main threats would be some straight line wind, damaging straight line winds, and potentially some small hail with these storms. Now, the good thing about the storms coming through, obviously, is the rainfall that we're going to get from those. Of course, some of the places in the northern part of the state have already seen a couple inches of rain so far this morning, but over the next week, we do expect a pretty widespread part of the northern half of Alabama could get up to 2 inches of rain or more, which would be very helpful. And then you see even the southern part of the state expecting to get over 1 inch in many spots. So we certainly would like to have that rain to fall here. We're starting to get more into a drought, obviously, and so this will be helpful, although it shouldn't alleviate the drought entirely for sure, but it still is helpful when you start to get dry like that to get a decent round of rain. All right, here's your 7-day forecast for North Alabama. Again, still elevated chances of rain and thunderstorms. Obviously, we have them ongoing right now in several counties in the northern part of the state, but some counties still are dry right now up there. So still expecting to have a few scattered showers and thunderstorms possible this afternoon, but diminishing over the course of time. Then we ramp things back up as we get into Wednesday and lingering into Thursday as that cold front passes through, but expecting the chance to kind of dive off pretty quickly Thursday as we see that cold front pass down to the southeast. And then a cooling trend with a drier air mass in place. So the weekend is looking pretty comfortable. So high still warm, but not hot into the lower to mid 80s. A more comfortable air mass in place, less humidity, lows getting down the upper 50s, low 60s. So the weekend looking pretty nice in North Alabama. And then looking at South Alabama, again, it's going to be hot the next couple of days. So before the front gets here and the elevated rain chances, it's going to be getting in the mid 90s again with very low rain chances. We really expect to see the main chance of getting the rain and thunderstorms in there not until Thursday, and then that'll be when South Alabama gets their chance to get some widespread rain and thunderstorms, and that will linger into Friday before the front passes, and then that leaves behind, again, a pretty nice weekend for South Alabama as well, where those highs will be only into the 80s, a little bit drier air mass in place, and lows getting a little bit cooler at night as well. Well, that's your Alabama forecast update for now. We'll have another one coming up later on the Alabama Weather Network.